At FloHockey, we're getting fired up for the ACHA National Championships, and I'm here with UT hockey captain Barrett Ott and team president Lucas Robbins. And I appreciate you guys for coming in today.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here.
Happy to be here.
You know, we're about 2 weeks out since you guys qualified for the National Championships for the first time with UT. What is that feeling like, and how are you guys, we're 3 days away from the tournament starting now. What's that energy for you?
Yeah, I would say we're very excited. A lot of preparation kind of has gone into this entire season, and we went in wanting to change our culture. And I think, making regionals was a step to that. We made regionals last year as well, but obviously winning regionals is a big step for the program and the future of the program as well. And looking towards nationals, we're excited to compete at a national level and hopefully bring home a national championship.
Yeah, it feels great being able to represent UT at the national level in the sport of hockey. We've never been able to do that in the history of the club at UT. So we're all really looking forward to this weekend and ready to get on the ice.
What you talked about that culture change. What change did you see, and what change did you guys want to see this year?
I would say a big change was just kind of the vibes in the locker room. A couple years ago, kind of when Barrett came in, we weren't exactly the best team. And I would say with he's been the president the past 2 years, he's really changed around, I want to say, the culture of the program. And we've just kind of been building on that. In particular, just the expectations of what it means to be on UT hockey. It's a privilege to wear that logo and showing up every day ready to work, ready to be better, and then playing our best hockey. So, yeah, if you want to talk more, you were the force behind it.
Definitely, yeah. So when I got to UT 3.5, 4 years ago and joined the hockey team, there was no matching equipment. We were losing tons of games, and we're just pretty disorganized as a club. But we ended up getting a lot of good players through the admissions process, players with history in the sport, and kind of made a change and dedicated ourselves to bettering the program. And the last couple of years, obviously, we found a lot of success, and it's taken off at a really fast pace. I never would have imagined this club being able to represent UT at nationals by the time I graduated. I thought that would have been an 8-year process, but it's been insane to see the growth that we have the past couple of years, and being able to compete now as one of the top teams in the country.
We're all here in Austin. We talk about you guys making nationals for the first time, but also it feels like in Texas, for the most part, you just have that conversation with people where you talk about hockey and everyone's like, we're in Texas, what hockey are you, like, what are you playing, what are you doing? What has it been like kind of having that experience going through that, playing hockey in Texas and representing Texas really at that level?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's been a bit of a learning curve for me coming from the East Coast. I grew up in Rochester, New York, and then New Jersey, so everyone kind of knows hockey, and especially in Rochester, pretty much everyone plays hockey. So it's definitely been a learning experience, but we've been able to experience really good growth through our social media, actually. Within the past year, I want to say we've grown our social media by about 300%. So we went from 6,000 followers to around 18,000. So it's good to see that we're spreading hockey in Texas. You'll still walk around campus and people will be like, they'll see Texas hockey merch and they'll be like, we have a hockey team, but it's definitely growing. And I would say, at least through the Greek life, we've seen a lot of people starting to show up to our games, and we've sold out the last 3 of the season, right? Mm-hmm. So it's good to see the growth, and we hope it continues.
Yeah. My freshman year, we would barely get anyone other than friends and family out to our games, and now, like Lucas just said, we've been selling out the arena, and seeing people learn that we have a hockey team at UT has been really fun, and kind of bringing that sport down south as it continues, as the game continues to grow. It's been really cool to see.
On that same note, you guys both came from cold weather states, but you came from a very hockey heavy, and Idaho. We were kind of talking before. You guys are both from not being in Texas. What drew you to coming to UT? I'm sure school was the priority, student athlete, but joining this hockey program, was there any inclination for either of you to just kind of be like, this is where I want to be?
I would say it definitely played a role. I knew coming to college that I wanted to continue playing hockey just because it had such a, significant part of my life. So when actually, I think it was you that reached out to me when I got in, And I was already very high on UT because, as you said, great school, great academics, beautiful weather. I mean, no real drawbacks. Once he reached out to me and I kind of realized that it was not only like a possibility but a probability, it definitely drew me more to UT. And then I wasn't able to play actually in the fall of last year due to my age. So once I was able to play, it was very exciting. But I would say being able to continue in college was definitely high on my list.
Yeah, for me it was pretty random. I just wrapped up my junior's career, had 3 knee surgeries, was honestly done with the sport of hockey, didn't want to play, didn't play my freshman fall. But the seniors during the time when I was a freshman convinced me to hop back on the ice, and I fell back in love with the game. I originally came to UT just because the academics, the being in the city of Austin, and the sports culture it has with football and whatnot is a pretty unparalleled combination that you don't see at many universities. But being able to fall back in love with hockey at UT and help me part of the growth was 100% worth it for me, and it's been a huge part of my story at the university. So I'm happy it worked out.
Speaking of a big part of your story, I mean, you had a goal in the regionals clinching game. The second goal for UT kind of put you guys up, got that energy going a little bit more. I mean, not that it was ever low, but what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, great experience. Obviously, anytime you can contribute in big games like that, it feels the best. And that goal came at an important time in the game for sure. So I was happy to be able to get us back on the board. And it was our third game of the weekend. We had won our last 2 games in overtime. That game was obviously super close, so there wasn't much going through the mind when I shot that puck. I'm happy it went in, but I think we were all in the same boat that the whole weekend was a whirlwind, and we honestly had no expectations to go 3-0 there. So super exciting moment.
You talked about all the overtimes. What was that like when that final overtime when Owen just got that goal? What was that experience like for you guys?
I mean, obviously very happy. There's some good photos because I kind of drove the net originally and got absolutely killed on it. So happy he buried the goal. I mean, he's been one of our go-to guys all year, so wouldn't really expect anything less out of him. But I mean, I was in between a state of shock and bliss. As Barrett said, the expectation going in, I think a lot of people doubted us to, against that Cal team. First of all, obviously we were ranked higher, but they'd lost 1 game all year, and then going up against Providence, a team that was supposed to be significantly better than us. So felt good to kind of not only prove people wrong, but also cement our spot at Nationals where we can turn some more heads.
Yeah, it felt amazing. Like Lucas said, it was definitely a bit of a shock. I mean, I remember 3 months ago we were having conversations just talking about how we were going to make regionals, and being in that third game, realizing that we just went 3-0 on the weekend, completed comebacks, won all our games in overtime, and we're going to send the program to Nationals for the first time ever was shocking and a special moment for sure. Shout out Owen Just, like Lucas said, one of our go-to guys. Wouldn't have been surprised if it was him, if he told me before the game, if we were going to overtime, it was Owen Just who was going to send us to Nationals. But yeah, great moment for the team.
What was it like coming back to UT and kind of having that, under your belts, knowing that Nationals was just a couple weeks away?
Yeah, I think we were ready. We took the plane ride to celebrate. We had a great time on the plane ride at the airport, and then as soon as we stepped on the ice our next practice, we knew it was time to get right back to work. And there was a larger task at hand. And that's really kind of what went through my head. Trying to push each other as hard as possible in our practices, and just preparing to play these top teams in the country.
Yeah, definitely. Once the kind of shock settled in, we've had the last couple of weeks to get back on the ice and get to work, and we've been focused on nothing but these upcoming games this weekend. So, we've been all working really hard, putting a lot of hours into it, and we're ready to represent UT at Nationals.
With ACHA Nationals, it just feels like such a moment, especially for college hockey. ACHA is such a big league, and there's so many teams competing. What does it mean to have a league like the ACHA to kind of play in and kind of continue your hockey career?
Yeah, I would say it's very special. I took a little bit of a different route than Barrett. A bunch of guys my year, so including Owen Just, Ian Silverstein, Charlie Draghi, a lot of our, I guess, players who have had a lot of success at this level. We chose to not take the juniors route as it wasn't exactly the best fit for us. For me, it was just about pursuing my academics and playing hockey as well. And I would say the opportunity that a league like the ACHA offers is really special, as it allows me to be a student athlete, but also prioritize my studies. And that's really significant to kind of what I was brought up on, as well as what I'm looking to do in the future. Unfortunately, I will not be making it to the NHL, but I'm pretty happy where I am. So.
Yeah, it's been crazy to see the ACHA grow too. There's club teams now that are beating Division I programs, defending national champions. I mean, you said that a couple years ago, and anyone in the hockey community wouldn't believe you. So, the ACHA is college hockey, and seeing the caliber of players that are going to schools like Texas, Oklahoma, Florida, all these massive schools that hockey players used to never have a chance to play hockey at, are now playing hockey and doing their part to grow the game. And it's been crazy to see the growth in the ACHA, and it's great hockey. I know I've had a blast playing it.
Yeah, I would also say, you never know when a program's going to go D1 or not. So if Del Conte wants to fund us, he's more than welcome to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're here for UT going D1. So, but is there any teams that you guys have kind of had your eye on throughout the season that, heading out to nationals, you're like, we're excited to see you. We're hoping we get your number?
I mean, I would just say everyone, in total honesty. I have a couple friends on Northeastern, so unfortunately we don't get to play them, but I look forward to seeing them there, and maybe we will play them in the semifinals or the championship. But I would definitely say they're one team that we've kind of had our eye on. I would also say, Army West Point. They should be we get the opportunity to play them. They're obviously a good team that's very disciplined. So we're excited to. I know they're number one in the East, so coming from the East, I want to see what number one in the East is all about.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, kind of coming into nationals with that underdog mentality, and that's what these teams are thinking too. For me, I'd love to play Montana State University. They usually get a bid straight from the West to nationals every year and stay in the top 2 rankings throughout the whole season. We've never played them as a program, so I'd love to test out our strengths against theirs, and I think that'd be an interesting matchup to see.
If you had to describe UT's style, what would it be?
I'd say we play a pretty fast game and a pretty, I guess, disciplined game is really what I would say. I think we have, we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, and we're able to play to our strengths.
Yeah. On top of that, I'd just say we don't give up. A lot of our wins against ranked teams this year were comeback wins. So we do a really good job of being resilient. We play for the guys to our left or guys to our right. We may not be as skilled as some of the teams we beat, but we're hard to play against and we don't give up. And that's enabled us to find the success that we've seen this year.
You guys can say yourselves, but if we had to shout out one teammate or one player at UT that's, hey, you need to watch this guy when he's at nationals, who would you say?
97, Owen Just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Owen Just for sure. We have some other good seniors. Andrew Kungle, he's been a huge part of the program this year. Dante Pierre, he's has a junior's background and could be good for a huge weekend for us as well. And then, of course, our goalie,
that's
Jesse Reinhardt.
Jesse Reinhardt.
Yeah, we've been riding him all year, and he's been huge for us, been an absolute brick wall. So,
you guys have any extra thoughts before nationals? Anything you want to just kind of say about this season?
I would say we're very happy as to how it's gone so far, and we look to make even more history.
Yeah, we're excited for nationals. Definitely hop on FloHockey and catch some of the action if you can. It's going to be an exciting weekend. You're not going to want to miss it.
Where can we find you guys on social media? You said that growth.
I think it's Texas Ice Hockey, I believe, is our Instagram, and it should be most of our accounts. So
yeah,
Texas Ice Hockey. Drop a follow, and there's plenty of great content on there.
Perfect. Well, as Barrett said, you can catch all of ACHA Nationals on FloHockey, and we're excited to get this tournament going.